This is going to be a little different from the other videos in this series. It's different because I can't condense everything about Chiang Mai into one video, so keep in mind this is just a part of the story. If you're planning a cycling holiday in Asia, I recommend considering Thailand. Chiang Mai should definitely be the first stop. I feel like the roads in Thailand are notorious for being very dangerous, but honestly, it's one of the safest places I've ever cycled. Obviously, road cycling is inherently dangerous, so of course there will always be risk, but most of it can be mitigated as long as you're not completely reckless. In this video, I want to show what it's like to ride here, so I'm going on a mini 4-day bikepacking adventure. Ironically, this trip starts by heading out of Chiang Mai and into Lampang, the next province over, but it will finish at one of the most well-known spots in Chiang Mai, Kampong. So far I'm about 30 kilometers into this ride, and if I'm being completely honest, it's been kind of boring. Super flat. I've done about 20 meters of elevation gain so far, but luckily there are some mountains straight ahead. That's exactly where I'm headed. I just want to point out how amazing this road is right now. I mean, if you could see behind me, just fully uninterrupted. And then in front of me, it's the same. Goes on like this for kilometers and kilometers. Great view of the mountain. Road surface is fairly good. And this isn't something that's unique to this road that I'm on right now. You can find this pretty much everywhere in Thailand. Alright, I made it up the first climb. It's a lot harder than I remember it being. I have been on this road before. I want to just talk about why I've chosen this route. I think most people, when they think of bikepacking, especially like a short 4 or 5 day trip, Mueang Pan Loop is probably the first route that comes to mind for most people. Kind of exactly the reason why I've chosen to come here instead. It's just a little less known. Like, I'm sure many cyclists in Chiang Mai have been here before, but it's just not part of the routine. I mentioned in a previous video that the rainy season is a great time to visit Thailand, and this is a perfect example why. Look how lush and green everything is. If you come in November or December, the dry season, it's a lot more brown. Obviously you run the risk of getting rained on when you're riding, but I think it's worth it. It's just so much more beautiful out here. I'm hungry. I've had nothing but sugary drinks all day today. I'm not gonna lie, if you come here as a foreigner and come to these small little villages, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge to find food. If you're lucky enough to be with a local, obviously it'll be a lot easier. So just stopped for some chips and some water. I'm beginning to think I may have to wait until Lampang to get some food. Because when I look at Strava and I look on the map, it's just wilderness until the city. So we'll see. I would say if you've never bike packed before, Thailand is a very good place for your first trip. People are very friendly here, and I mean, even if you ran out of water or you had like some sort of catastrophic mechanical problem with your bike and you couldn't continue, I think you'd be okay. I mean, obviously, don't let yourself get into that situation on purpose, but you know, it's nice knowing that if it did, I think you'd be okay. I was like, uh-oh, when I saw that gate. But yeah, just say Swadee Kap, smile, say Kampong Kap on the way out, and you're good to go. It may be tough to get a sense of how big these trees are, but each of these leaves is bigger than me. It's got to be over probably 7-8 feet tall for one leaf, not including the stem. Crazy. That was a tough climb. I mean, even just to do the bare minimum to get to the top here was pretty tough. If you don't believe me, pedal to the top of Mueang Pan National Park. That was steep. If you visit Chiang Mai and you're not keen to do this ride, I do recommend just like hopping on a scooter or rent a car and just drive down the highway to Mueang Pan National Park, and you get beautiful views as you're driving down the highway. If you've ever driven from Chiang Mai to Bangkok, it's likely that you've already driven through it. So further to what I was saying earlier about people being really friendly, I mean, I'm completely out of water. I was completely out of water, and I stopped at this shop, asked them if they were selling any water. They said no, but they were like, here, take some water. And they just gave me some water for free. Like I said, they're not gonna let you just die out here. I have seen probably about 1,000 dogs today. Kind of a miracle that I haven't been chased by a single one. Yeah, dogs are kind of a problem here. If you've bike packed in Thailand before, you probably know. Alright, that was nice. Being able to just chill in that air-conditioned 7-Eleven. I've been waiting for that for hours. Got about 19K to go. It's all flat, but it's getting really hot. So I made it into my hotel. I just booked a room at B2. There's B2 all over Thailand. And I always find that for what you pay, you get quite a bit. It's a pretty big room. It's clean. It's $22. $22 Canadian. Can't go wrong. Good morning. It's now the next day. Last night, I just went to the mall to get some dinner and then passed out. Nothing too exciting. Today's ride is about 60 kilometers, pretty short, with only about 500 meters of elevation gain. But my legs are tired, so I'm glad it's going to be a pretty short ride. I'm just here at 7-Eleven, of course, here to get some breakfast and some coffee to start my day. I know very little about today's ride. I mean, other than what I could see on Strava. I see on the elevation profile that it's just like slightly 1%, 2% grade uphill the entire way until the end where there's like a medium-sized climb. But yeah, other than that, I don't know anything. I know nothing about this town that I'm going to, this village. I don't even know if there's gonna be anything to eat. I've already mentally prepared myself that I may be eating dinner at 7-Eleven tonight, which is fine. Like I said, I'm prepared for that. Minor problem I'm having right now, and it is just a minor problem, is that when I start the ride there are many 7-Elevens, which I'm grateful for, but then when I'm in the middle of the ride, the way I am right now, there's nothing. I'm not too concerned. It is just a minor problem because, like I said yesterday, there are going to be shops. I know that, but it would be nice to have a 7-Eleven just because they're air conditioned. They didn't have air conditioning, but drinks are cold. So I've just rerouted. The road that I was on is over there. It was like a highway, and I felt like my views of the mountain were obstructed. So I've taken this road, hoping that I get some better views. So far, no views of the mountains, but I actually do think it is nicer. Yep, this is why I rerouted. Yeah, the strange thing is, this place I'm going to is called Mueang Pan. Now Mueang, I thought that meant capital city. For example, I live in Mueang, Chiang Mai, which is the capital city of the province of Chiang Mai. Maybe my understanding of the word is incorrect? Not sure. What I do know is I'm less than 3 kilometers away, 2.75 kilometers away, and I'm still just surrounded by nothing but wilderness. This city can't be very big. ข้าวมันไก่ เอาข้าวมันไก่หนึ่ง Alright, it's not even noon and I'm pretty much at my hotel now, so I may as well get some food before trying to check in. I just wanted to take a quick minute to talk about all the things that you would need if you were going to do a trip like this. So this is just a 4-day trip, so it's really not much. Now, I have brought 2 of everything, but I think you can get away with 1 and just wash your kit. I mean, I'm washing my kid anyway. I travel with my own laundry detergent, and then that way I think everything can fit in a saddlebag. Now you can see that I have a saddlebag and 2 panniers, but that's because I'm bringing all this gear to make these videos. Now, to be honest, I haven't been completely wowed by the scenery on these rides that I've been doing in the past couple days. But one thing I can say for sure is that I appreciate doing these rides with no cars. Like yesterday when I was riding through Kuntan National Park, that was like a couple hours with maybe 1 or 2 cars. Really, it was pretty empty, especially when you pass the park boundary. And then today, after I did that reroute to that parallel road, again, it was super quiet. So I think it does make it worthwhile to do a trip like this, even though I am kind of bored right now. There's not a lot to do in this town that I'm in right now. But if you do make it out here to Mueang Pan, there's a giant geological feature that you cannot miss. It's the giant cliff. Just know that there's a temple at the top and a road that leads to it. The climb is about 10 kilometers with about 500 meters of elevation gain. I'm not keen to do it today, but maybe you are. Good morning. It is day 3 now. Last night I did end up having to have dinner at this 7-Eleven last night, but they had this omelet rice dish and they made the eggs right on the spot. I've never seen any 7-Eleven that does that, but yeah, it was pretty good as far as 7-Eleven food is concerned. Today's ride is 75 kilometers with 2,500 meters of elevation gain, and the destination is Kampong village. I'm not even 30 minutes into my ride. Maybe gone 10 to 15 kilometers. But I'm gonna stop here anyway because I feel like if I miss this one, there's gonna be no 7-Elevens until the end of the ride. Just further to what I was saying yesterday about the roads being so empty. I mean, look at this now. Now it is pretty early. It's just before 8 o'clock in the morning right now. But still, if it was 8 o'clock in the morning in Chiang Mai, if you're doing routes like Mueang Loop or riding down Canal Road, it's pretty busy even at 8 in the morning. Now that's not meant to be a comment about safety. I never feel unsafe riding Mueang Loop, even when there are lots of cars. I just mean it's not as pleasant. This climb is absolutely destroying me. I'm not even halfway through. There have already been about 5 times where the gradient has gone well over 20%, 22, 23%. I'm grinding 300 watts, sometimes 350 at a cadence of about 45. It's just such high force. And because these stretches aren't that long, it's only going about 100 meters, but that's like still 45 seconds to a minute of just like, brutal pain. Yeah, about 5 times. I'm not even halfway done. And then I see this Climb Pro. Oh man. There's a large dark red section coming up. And that dark red section is actually bigger than any of the dark red sections that I saw in the past. This is the first climb. Does look really cool out here. Still not done that first climb. But yeah, it looks really cool. First climb finally done. If you cut out the last kilometer of that climb, the average gradient would be well over 10%. Yeah, it was tough. I gotta say I'm pretty lucky right now because it's overcast and it's actually very cool, but it's not raining, luckily, at the moment. If I was doing this in full sun, I think I'd be in some trouble. That town, Ban Me Jam, really well timed because I was out of water. I saw on Google while I was eating my khao soi that there are quite a few coffee shops along the way. Hopefully I could find a nice one that's open. Second big climb done. That wasn't nearly as hard as the first one. So now I think I'm at the highest point in the ride. So I have a big descent and then I'll start the final climb up into Kampong. So I'm about 15 kilometers away from my destination now. This place I'm going to, Kampong, some people might be confused as to why this is included, because it's not really undiscovered, because a lot of people know about it. It is a very popular tourist destination, especially among non-cyclists. But the reason why I've included it is because A, I have never been there before, and so I just wanted to check it out, and B, even among cyclists in Chiang Mai, not a lot of people are doing rides to Kampong and back. It's just not a common route. Oh, so I made it. That last climb up to Kampong is brutal. Oh, so steep. But the challenge isn't done yet. This is my hotel, and I gotta somehow get my bike from there to somewhere down there. It's now the next day. I'm on my way back to Chiang Mai. Beautiful morning. So last night that was Kampong. Now I was going to film a little bit more around the village, but it was kind of pouring rain, so I ended up not really doing anything. But I got an idea of what it's all about. It's kind of like a pioneer village, if you know what that is. You know, before I said I wasn't really wowed by any of the scenery. This is wow. So as I mentioned, this trip is really just a part of the story. So stay tuned for more from Chiang Mai.